Hi, I'm Jim Sherwood, and welcome back to Better Radio Websites, the podcast that wants to help you get more visitors and the most revenue from your radio station website. And this week, we're talking about podcasting and how adding video to the mix can up-level your reach and engagement. That's right. We're talking about YouTube on a radio station website podcast. I'll get to how these two kind of intertwine a little bit later on, but I don't know. Have you found that there's just so much garbage on the networks and streaming platforms? I mean, look, 800 channels and nothing to watch. That's why YouTube is where I'm spending most of my time now. I just find that it's, I can catch up on industry trends there, tech news, and everything that I'm interested in appears there on the homepage. It's not just for music videos, vlogs, and tutorials anymore. I mean, really, you can find anything there, which is probably why I'm finding most podcasts there as well. Check this out. Edison Podcast Metrics published a study last month showing that 31% of weekly podcast listeners ages 13 and up choose YouTube as their top platform for podcasts. This surpasses Spotify and Apple Podcasts by quite a margin. And you may not have realized that this has quietly emerged as the most popular platform for podcast listening in the US. And now's a good place to interject. If you're listening to the audio version of this podcast and you haven't watched this podcast on YouTube, please check out our link in the show notes. We'll leave it there for you. And when you get there, please like and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And so this podcast will appear on your homepage whenever there is a new episode. So why should podcasting matter for a radio station? Well, whether you're already podcasting or just considering it, understanding how video podcasting can amplify your reach, especially among younger audiences, is really critical moving forward. And if you think about it, podcast offers radio stations a valuable way to extend their brand beyond the traditional broadcast reach. Podcasting allows you to stay relevant and attract listeners who might not catch the live broadcast, but they still want to engage with your station's unique voice and content. Some of our clients, they use their morning newscast as a podcast. So if somebody has missed a newscast in the morning, all they have to do is pull up their podcast app and the latest episode is always right there. And it's not enough to just simply have a podcast. If you're at a video component, it can be a game changer for you, especially on YouTube, because YouTube is the second largest search platform. People go there to search for everything now. Yes, even things locally in your market, not just how to build this or how to fix that. I mean, video podcasts can be there to allow your listeners to see your station's personality, creating a deeper, more personal connection. This is particularly effective for engaging younger audiences like Gen Z. These folks gravitate toward visual platforms. That means we have to be there as well, considering the massive popularity shows like the Joe Rogan Experiences, which was, you have to admit, it was a game changer for this past election. If they did not have that video component, just an audio podcast, I don't think Joe Rogan's Experience would be the number one podcast that it is, just because they have both of those, and people can get that Joe Rogan Experience, whether they're on YouTube or on other video platforms or on just their listening device as they're driving to work. Being in both places is what's helped that podcast grow. And according to Edison research, 84% of Gen Z monthly podcast listeners, they engage more with podcasts that include video. Nearly half of them say that video helps them better understand the context and the tone through visual cues like facial expressions, while 45% feel more connected to podcasters that they can actually see. And folks are seeing these on YouTube. When your radio station embraces video, you're just not producing more content. You're creating more of an experience now. You've up-leveled it, all right? This multifaceted approach allows you to draw in a younger audience who value being able to see your personalities, their expressions, their reactions to things. And all of this fosters a more real connection than just traditional audio can offer. Now, YouTube offers significant advantages for radio stations. First, it's absolutely free. I've been doing this podcast on YouTube now for years. a year and a half, 2 years. And so it's absolutely free. Haven't paid YouTube a cent. All right. And second, it's the ideal search engine for younger audiences who treat YouTube as both an entertainment hub and a discovery tool. So if they're not seeing exactly what they want in their feed or whatever, they will search for it. So more of those things can pop up in their feed. By uploading your podcast as video, you're not just connecting with your existing audience, but you're really expanding your reach, bringing in new listeners to your radio station website through engaging video content. Each of your podcast episodes can link back to your station website and driving traffic back there. Now, if you're already podcasting, it's worth asking, is your current approach missing out on these YouTube benefits? If you're not using video, now may be the time to consider it because, again, more people are on YouTube than on other podcast platforms. Your audience is more visual than ever. And YouTube's metrics prove that listeners are spending more time on the platform than other podcasting apps too. So you get a lot of great analytics in the background there as well. And don't think your videos must be well produced. I actually did something different this week. I don't know if you may have noticed, but my SM7B is missing. I don't have, no headphones or anything like that. All I have for this podcast episode is an iPhone. That's it. iPhone camera, iPhone microphone. I mean, I do have my little elements that appear, around. It doesn't have to be well produced. It doesn't have to be TV-like quality. And I think that's one thing that us as radio people, we want. Everything has to be absolutely perfect. We'll spend hours and hours on a 30-second spot until it's absolutely legit or whatever. But YouTube does not require that. I've seen podcasts that it is literally just somebody with their iPhone walking around doing their vlog or whatever and getting hundreds of thousands of people watching it every single week. All right. A lot of YouTube creators fail because they don't think it's professional enough. And you don't have to be professional on YouTube. It's all about great content and just a webcam. Just video what you do on air and put it out there. And yes, you can add in all kinds of sponsorships to go along with it. So how does podcasting on YouTube benefit specifically your radio station website, which is what this podcast is about? Well, podcasting and especially video podcasting on YouTube, it offers up a whole new avenue of bringing in listeners to the website who might not otherwise visit. I mean, think about it. Every YouTube episode is going to include a link to the station website. And when listeners find your content engaging, they're more likely to click back for more information or extra resources or exclusive content or anything like that you may put on the website. This creates a steady stream of organic traffic that can grow over time, especially as your YouTube channel gains followers. And content variety. It keeps visitors coming back to your station website. By adding the podcast to your website, it adds dynamic, fresh content. And for visitors, this keeps things interesting, making them more likely to return. So you can embed both the audio and video versions of your podcast directly on your website, as we do with this podcast each and every week. It offers more ways for people to engage with the content that you are creating. It's also going to improve your SEO search rankings. They're going to be greatly affected by all of this new content that you're adding. By posting your blog summaries, transcripts, episode highlights on your station website, you're adding this SEO-friendly content that helps your site rank higher in search engines. All right. So not only are you going to be ranking in YouTube, you're going to be ranking in Google and Bing and all of these other search engines out there, right? And you do want to rank higher for those because it makes your content in your website easier for more listeners to find your radio station online when they're searching for anything local that may be going on or specific shows. Not everybody's going to go to the search engine and type in the call letters and that sort of thing. All right. They're going to be searching for things that are happening around their town. And if your radio station appears in those search results, more awesomeness comes your way. So increased ad revenue and sponsorship opportunities that can benefit your website that way, because again, you're going to be getting more traffic to your station website. You have banner ads that you sell to clients there. Those ads will receive more impressions and more clicks, hopefully, if the message is right. So, and you can also put clients inside of your podcast, like this one.
Looking to maximize your radio station's digital presence? Skyrocket Radio delivers custom websites and mobile apps built exclusively for radio stations by radio professionals. Our websites engage listeners and drive revenue, while the integrated apps keep your audience connected wherever they are. It's a complete digital solution designed to boost your station's reach and ad sales. To take your station's online experience to the next level, visit skyrocketradio.com.
So as you see, you can do anything within your podcast that you want to. It could be the DJ's actually doing a live spot on camera about a certain advertiser, or you can stick actually commercials like that inside of the episode. All right. So again, more revenue. Building a community around your content with video podcasts. You can integrate comments and feedback, of course, directly on YouTube, and then you don't have to worry about the spam, stuff like that. YouTube filters out all of that garbage. And you can also have folks leave comments on your station website to kind of increase that community there. Creating a section for listener feedback, episode discussion, and behind the scenes updates on your website, again, fosters this sense of community. And a lot of listeners, they need that sense in order to feel engaged with your brand and your station. It can also drive your newsletter signups and engagement, because you can encourage YouTube and podcast listeners to visit your website and sign up for our newsletter. We have one that goes out every single Tuesday that normally features the latest episode or the latest blog post that we have made. You can promote that within your podcast, or you can just tell folks where to go sign up. This is going to help your email list to grow, and it's going to get more people getting your content on a regular basis, your station events, your news, your events, that sort of thing. If you're not podcasting yet, hopefully you'll take this as a sign to get started, because podcasting is a chance to build your radio station's brand in a digital space like no other and reach an audience that just may never tune in or maybe cannot tune in live. And if you're already producing podcasts, think about how video can elevate your reach and engagement. And it doesn't take a whole lot to do. Like I said, I just have an iPhone with an iPhone camera and an iPhone microphone. I don't have my expensive SM7B sitting out here going through a vocal processor and all that kind of stuff. It's literally just a phone. All right. So be sure to check out this podcast on YouTube. If you're listening to the audio version, please jump over to YouTube and check this out. Leave us a comment. Share this with your radio colleagues. And when you get to YouTube, be sure that you like and subscribe. And if you need help with your radio station website, we'd love to be your partner with that. You can reach out to us anytime at skyrocketradio.com. Have an awesome week online making your radio station website better. We'll see you next time.